And welcome back, everybody, to the Voices of the Voiceless podcast, episode 33. You can tell I'm trying to be excited. The only reason I'm trying to be excited is because I'm tired. I'm always exhausted.
In fairness, everybody who watched WrestleMania is tired.
That was 7 hours. 7 hours. That was 7 hours. And I watched from pre-show at 5 until the end of the pay-per-view.
But were you not sports entertained, John?
Yeah, I was. At the end of the day, we are fans. We're not critics. So I was a fan. At every WrestleMania, aside from the few texts I sent to you, I am a fan on WrestleMania, and I let myself not be a critic. Every other day of the year I can be a critic, but WrestleMania I'm a fan. So yes, I was sports entertained. You, I know, were not.
Well, we'll get into that.
Yeah, I know. There is a difference between being sports entertained and not knowing what to say, and that really just coincides with all parts of life, which, Brad, I gotta say, tell the viewers why we did not have a WrestleMania podcast, why we didn't have a podcast last week in general, because all in all, it was your fault. I'm sorry to throw you under the bus there, but kind of was.
Yeah. Life gets in the way, like you say.
Life or wife?
Life.
Okay. Well, I know the real reason. If you want to know the real reason, DM me on Twitter, Jon Fisher, WNC.
He loves DMs.
Trust me, I wish I had any. He missed for a good reason. I'll back him up. I will back him up. But anywho, on to the real reason we're here tonight. WrestleMania 32, NXT Takeover Dallas in Monday Night Raw in no particular order. First, though, we have...
Oh, you totally missed my tweet of the week.
That's what I was leading. I was leading into your tweet of the week. You don't give me any chances. I was, yeah.
Well, that was a terrible lead-in.
Well, no, I said Takeover Dallas, Raw, WrestleMania in no particular order, but first, and then you interrupted me. So
Carry
yes,
on.
well, no, it's a tweet of the week, so nothing more to carry.
All right, hit the music.
I'm still eating cheese, by the way. What's your tweet of the week today?
The tweet of the week is from Bull Dempsey, WWE.
Why is that his Twitter account and still?
That's a great question. Probably for name recognition, he would be my guess. He's going by the name Bull James now on the indie scene. I think he'll pop up somewhere, ROH or somewhere. He'll pop up somewhere.
He already has a match at Combat Zone Wrestling. Sammy Callahan, I believe.
Yeah, so at Divas Addict says, I mean, you obviously earned the title being released and all. This was a back and forth, and so Bull Dempsey's response was, I earned it risking my life every day for the fans, not for scumfucks like you who deserve AIDS and a slow death.
Talk about heat, scooping some heat.
Yeah, he actually deleted the tweet. Not before I commented, though.
What did you say?
I definitely think... Well, I screenshotted it, but I also... I commented that I think he should adopt the slogan, mess with the bull, you get the horns.
And he is a heel, so I can see why.
He is a heel. He's Bull James. He is a heel. He is a bull. And he was giving Divas Addict the horns.
Very well.
He liked the status. He must have liked it.
Well said.
Yeah, so I want full credit if he goes with that.
Well, he's not, but yeah, he's a heel. But that's taking it a little too far, don't you think? I don't know. Clearly, he's adopting the Ryback philosophy of tweet, delete, and repeat. So,
oh boy.
See, I like that Ryback gimmick. That Ryback gimmick was good.
Well, yeah. I mean, he's.
It was funny.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. It's the funniest he's been. I mean,
Well, yeah, because he's not funny.
yeah. He's yeah.
He hasn't been funny as long as I've known him. Good old Ryan Reeves. I mean, he started in tough NXT. I was gonna say in Tough Enough, but then, not so much after that. Not so much after that. I remember when he was Skip Sheffield wearing a cowboy hat. Man, he was the fiercest cowboy in all the land.
Yeah, and he kept getting injured.
Yeah, I know. It was like every other step he took. He tore his ACL.
Well, that tends to happen when you know, have the same physician as many of the big names in this industry.
Like who? What about that guy in Breaking Ground? Every time he'd move his shoulder, he'd pop it out.
Well, yeah, I mean that's totally different. I'm talking about a special kind of physician with a special kind of prescription.
Oh, like Randy Orton's doctor.
All right, moving on.
Well, do we have to? Yeah, sure. Why not? NXT Takeover Dallas. Now, I knew this would happen. I knew. All right, so before we get into the actual matches, by the way, Gary the intern did not do this correctly. Samson and Cruz did not go on, but they had a decent match on NXT 2 nights ago. So semantics. He needs to check up on that a lot better. But what were your expectations going into the show, and did they meet those expectations?
Yeah, I mean, you know, I expected a good card. I expected a card that was potentially better than WrestleMania, and I think it delivered. I thought it was overall a very good card, a solid card, a good crowd, some twists and turns in there without going overboard and without it being overbooked. Yeah, I thought it was a very solid show, very good show, and my expectations were definitely met.
And remember, this is the first Takeover special, maybe ever, without Ryan Ward, their former writer.
Yep.
Which maybe this is a testament to the new writer and see what he can do. So far, so good, right?
Yeah.
You're very short-winded tonight.
No.
Okay. Well, yeah, I thought Takeover Dallas was a spectacle with 2 matches that stand out to me. First of all, American Alpha versus the Revival. Finally, Jordan and Gable get the tag team titles. It's something that Enzo and Cass could never do. So clearly, there's a future for Gable and Jordan as far as a tag team, and in showing off the gold. We can tell that so far. This match was spectacular from start to finish. I was glued to my seat. In fact, NXT Takeover, I didn't even get up and go to the bathroom unless it was to get a beer. But priorities, kids. Gable and Jordan were phenomenal. There was one botch near the end. Gable almost landed on his neck, but luckily he flipped over. Great body control. Was able to stay in shape for the match itself. And what can you say? Dash and Dawson also did a hell of a job with what they had to do. They know their role and they do it to perfection. A great short title run for them, and they're gonna be in NXT for the long haul, I believe, for at least another year. So they should get used to it. Jordan and Gable, the rematch is gonna come soon, but I have no complaints. This match was great. This is a right down to the bottom of the barrel as far as tag team wrestling, and it was great.
Yeah, I thought it was a very good match. I think American Alpha is great. I hate the name, but Jordan and Gable are great. Mm-hmm. There's no reason they're not on the main roster right now. It's not logical whatsoever. Just imagine a tag team division on the main roster with the New Day and American Alpha and Big and Enzo and Cass. I mean, it's like,
and the Vaudevillains.
Well, I mean, they're going to be jobbed out in weeks, but yeah, the Vaudevillains too. Who made their debut on SmackDown. Yeah, no, I mean, and I'm a fan of the Revival. I love the old school stuff they do. They are old school heels. They don't try and do the cool heel stuff to get the pops.
The flippity doos.
Yeah, the flippity doos. So I like it. They're a throwback to a real heel tag team. And I thought they had pretty good chemistry with Gable and Jordan, and I thought it was good. It delivered for me.
So I'm going to go back into my Twitter timeline today, wherever that is. For the first time, we will have the Meltzer Bombs ratings for every match for Mania, or not for Mania. I'm sorry, for the weekend, the best ratings, and this one got 4 stars from the Meltzer Bomb himself.
All right.
All right. That's all you have to say about the Meltzer Bomb. I know you're a big Dave Meltzer fan.
Oh, yeah. I love Herb. Herb Meltzer Bomb. He's wonderful. Okay.
Next, Austin Aries, Baron Corbin. I'll let you go first on this one. And let's say the ending was shocking, but the events on Sunday and Monday made it not so confusing.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't think Baron Corbin should have lost.
But
it was an all right match. They have different styles, and there's such a size difference. I mean, it was just pretty difficult for me to believe that Austin Aries would in any way physically dominate or beat Baron Corbin.
Honestly,
and frankly, a lot of the crowd was behind Baron Corbin because they like his heel anti-indie gimmick. They think it's funny.
yeah, but how long could that have lasted before it got stale? Corbin is a good wrestler, yes. He's not so hot on the mic yet. I feel like he could have stayed in NXT a little bit longer.
Actually, I think he's very good on the mic. I think he does promos. Yeah, I think he does promos very well. The key is, giving him some freedom and flexibility and creativity.
That's true, which he got
in good writing.
Raw.
Absolutely not. Yeah, it was ridiculous. But yeah, that's the difference between NXT and the main roster. But yeah, no, it was all right for what it was. I thought Aries was going to win, and I didn't think he should have, and so it just was what it was.
See, I thought Corbin was going to win, and have because Austin Aries won't be fighting. I don't think he's going to be in the Samoa Joe realm of I'm going to beat everyone up and go for the title. I thought Aries was going to be there as a pure enhancement builder of different wrestlers, but I was wrong.
Yeah, no, I mean, they decided to send Baron Corbin up to the main to do the Battle Royal on a Friday.
Well, you know why, right?
The day of the NXT show.
Yeah, and I think the reason being, Mr. Titus O'Neil is still suspended. If Titus O'Neil's there, he wins that Battle Royal, I think 10 times out of 10.
Well, he's just got to learn to stop bullying people.
Oh my god. No, we're not gonna play this game. Absolutely not. I mean, and by the way, I'm looking at my fridge if I want more cheese. I think I'm too cheesed out right now. But the difference is Titus O'Neil suspension is up, which means he should be on Raw next week at the Staples Center in Los Angeles.
No, I can't wait to see who he jobs out to. Should be interesting.
It's going to be a therapy session between Vince and Titus O'Neil, headlined by Dr. Phil.
That would be great. Yeah, unfortunately, Dr. Phil's only doing Raw because his son's band is playing, which means I'll be muting that segment.
Me too. I love music, so I listened to the band and their single that came out. It's awful. So I won't be doing that. Oh, poor Dr. Phil. No, I thought the match was good. I'm a huge Austin Aries fan, so naturally I was going to like it. I like that he won, and I like that Baron went to the main roster, and they're going their separate ways, which is cool.
Yeah.
I think they made the right decision there for the circumstances that played out. If Baron was to come on NXT 2 nights ago and be like, motherfucker, Austin, like, I want a rematch, it wouldn't have made sense. But, good. I like what they did there. So, without, and I have to precursor the match that we're about to review, which by the Meltzer Bomb was rated the best match of the weekend and possibly best match of the last year. And I say possibly because everyone has their own opinion. People think.
No, I thought it was the best match of the WWE weekend for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, 1 second. There will be an advertisement. Oh no!
Of course,
there wasn't. Have you ever been so captivated? And I think it's different for me because I have never actually. Well, no, I watched his match against AJ Styles in New Japan. It's the only match I've ever watched by Shinsuke Nakamura. Have you ever seen anybody captivate an audience before he even touched foot inside a WWE ring than Shinsuke Nakamura on Friday night? I never have before. And I've been watching, then again, I've been watching wrestling for 8 years. But that's still a lot of wrestling, right? I've never seen an audience captivated by one man more than him on a debut, ever.
I mean, he's got a unique style and charisma. It's captivating. It is very unique. And I've been a fan of his. He was my second favorite wrestler in New Japan Pro Wrestling.
Behind who, Ishii or Tanahashi?
Okada.
Okada, okay.
Yeah. Well, Tanahashi may be second or third, but definitely top 2 or 3. I've been a fan of Nakamura, and I think he's great. And he's just so unique. There's nobody like him. He's just, like a unique mix of a Michael Jackson and all these different sort of charismatic, different sort of figures. It's really something special. So yeah, it was really something I was looking forward to, and I knew Sami Zayn would be a good guy to have a good match with him.
He did the job.
And I expected Nakamura to win. And man, that he could be a big star on the main roster. So it'll be interesting to see how long he remains in NXT. I think he'll be in NXT for a little while.
I do too. Just his entrance music, his entrance itself, his Titantron, everything was literally perfect for someone to debut. I was worried about they're going to give him generic music, or they're not going to let him do what he wants. When Finn Balor said in an interview, he said, Shinsuke asked me, what should I do? He said, just be yourself. And, well, he was. That might be the best entrance music for a superstar since Edge, or I don't know. It just fits him. And the way he was dancing along to the music. Mm-hmm. And I'm very worried that casual fans won't like Nakamura. But then again, I don't know. I haven't seen any reviews of non-indie NXT marks that watched the show and commented on Shinsuke. Will they get him? Will they are they going to get Finn? I don't know that.
Yeah, I think you're bringing up a very valid concern. I think your average casual fan flipping channels is not going to get it. It's going to be very interesting. It's going to be a unique challenge for them on the main roster. But if they can make it work, he's a star. And it was great to see that he really didn't tone down his ring style, the strong style. I mean, it was a very physical match with Sami Zayn.
Well, that Triple H wanted that to happen, and Vince McMahon has a whole other opinion. So, I mean, for example, Vince said no to the extreme nature of which Dean Ambrose and Brock wanted to fight. So if that gives you any precursor to what Vince might say about Nakamura's wrestling style, that's one thing. Here's what I'm afraid of. So Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens can relate to the casual fan because Kevin Owens is an asshole. Sami Zayn is the lovable underdog, right? But Nakamura and Finn Balor are neither of those two. They are Nakamura. They are Finn Balor. They're almost more than human, if you will. They're hard to relate to.
Yeah, Nakamura is larger than life. I mean, if they don't draw big money off him, then that's completely their fault.
Yeah, but I mean, selfishly, I don't know. Selfishly, I want Nakamura on my television every night. I mean,
yeah, he's not on he's not on all the NXT tapings coming up.
He's in 2, if I remember right.
But maybe that's a good thing too. You don't want to oversaturate someone that special.
Yeah. Well, it's the Brock Lesnar effect. Brock is technically still, to me, he's a special talent still because he isn't used every week. He's used out of 52 Raws. He's used for 8 of them, and for 3 pay-per-views. So I'll give him 11 appearances a year out of 63, which that's still a little over 10%. So, but that's just me though. The Meltzer bomb, that was the highest rated match for him coming in at 4.5 stars.
Yeah, you know me. I don't do the star system. It was a fucking great match.
Yeah.
And that's what I look for.
One of my favorites of all time. Truthfully, I watched. I've actually watched Nakamura's entrance 6 more times since it happened because it gives me chill. It gave me chills watching him come down the ramp, and whenever he did his pose right next to the ropes, everyone flipped out. And what a moment! What a moment! Just amazing. And yeah, everyone knew it was Sammy's last night. He did the job, and that. And you're the old school wrestling guy. Isn't that what wrestlers who would leave territories used to do? Do the job to the next star and then leave?
Yeah, absolutely. But I think the interesting thing to note here is you're absolutely right. They did do that. This is the same company, and so the caveat there, right, is that you're in a developmental league, as they call it, and it's really not, but that's what they say, and you're losing to go up to the main roster and be promoted. So you're being promoted after losing, which isn't logical. So it's something worth looking at. They really have to be careful how they move these guys up. You don't want to keep jobbing them out to developmental guys and while you move them up to the main roster. So it's something to definitely think about. But yeah.
So if there was one mistake at NXT Takeover, it was having so many good matches on the card. There was no buffer.
Yeah, there was no Divas match, or well, not that all the Divas matches are bad, or women superstars, whatever they're calling them now. But they would have that match near the end of the card before the main event to kind of let everybody decompress,
like the battle royal. Well, then again, the main event was a piece of shit anyway. But the theory was put in place because you go from Nakamura Zayn, one of the best matches in the last year, to Asuka Bayley, which also had that potential. But it was just like, you're giving me the crowd was still hot, but they were spent.
Yeah, there was definitely no room to breathe here for the fans. I mean, it was an action-packed card. And, Asuka and Bayley.
Great match.
Another great match. Another great women's division match. Bayley's been in a lot of those. Asuka's been in a lot of those. So 2 good workers. Bayley super over with the NXT audience, and in a lot of people, I mean, the crowd was stunned when she just passed out and lost.
I think that was the only way to book that, though.
Oh, absolutely. I think if you're going to book the loss, I think they nailed it. That's what I would have done as well. And really, I mean, it was time for Bayley to lose the belt. I mean, there's a lot of money in Bayley chasing someone to win the championship as well, and they haven't done a lot of exploring of that because she's had a long reign. So
they get that now. They did it initially whenever she beat Becky, and then Charlotte, and then Sasha is like the symbolic defeating of the tiers of skill level until you win the championship. The money is always in the chase. It's not about the victory. That's my opinion. And they're going to get a lot of money out of this chase. And when I think the next takeover is her last. I think they're going to try to bring Bayley up in the summertime after the UK tour, because she is advertised for the UK tour in June. So we'll see that. But what a match, though. Asuka deserves it. And now it comes the new iteration of women like Peyton Royce, Billie Kay, Athena Reese is another one. Nia Jax still. Dana Brooke, so I have something to say about that.
Eva Marie.
Yeah, actually. Hey, one of the best heels in NXT without even trying. That's funny, Eva Marie. And they're signing new wrestlers already. It's the women's division is never going to die. It's just going to have generations. This is the next generation right here. Now, speaking of next generations, moving on to the main event. Oh, by the way, the Meltzer Bomb gave the Asuka Bayley match 3 3/4 stars. while giving the main event, let's look. Actually, that wasn't even rated in his top 6 out of the weekend. Interesting. Either way, Finn Balor defeated Samoa Joe, which was decided 2 days before the actual show.
Yeah. Yeah, there was talk of it's so weird how they do things so last minute. Joe was originally scheduled to win, and they changed it.
Yep.
And then you thought, that would be an indicator that Joe would go to the main roster. It didn't happen on Raw. We'll get to all that, but I thought it was it was a good match. I thought it was a very physical match. I mean, they were beating the hell out of each other. And
that brings up a good conversation to have. There are 2 ways to look at what happened with the bleeding of Samoa Joe's eye. I would like your opinion first, because I know I have a different one.
Yeah, for me, I thought it was pretty ridiculous that the referee they kept stopping the match to do that. And I've been watching wrestling longer than fucking Jesus has been alive, so I'm a little bit more old school in that regard, probably. But look, if it's a medical issue where it's going to endanger his life or safety or the other wrestlers or that kind of a thing. Look, stop the match and take care of it. I get it. This wasn't the case. It was just a cut that bleeds a lot because of the location of the cut. It's not dangerous at all. It's not going to hurt him. They kept wiping it with a towel, which does nothing. That doesn't stop the bleeding. If you're gonna get in there, wipe away the blood, put some Vaseline on it. You see, that's what they do in boxing. That's what they do in UFC to slow down the bleeding, and then let them continue to fight. But every time he starts to bleed, you don't need to fucking stop the match to this. Stupid. That's my opinion, though.
Okay, all right, and I'll say this: I liked the way they handled it to a point. I don't think they should have just kept wiping it away. They should have put Vaseline on it the first time they cleaned it, not like the 5th time that they cleaned it. I've been watching the UFC for so long. That cut is very infamous with UFC fighters. It's always above the eyebrow. Mm-hmm. And it is endangering their safety because blood can get in the eye. You can lose some vision temporarily, of course, nothing totally serious, but that cut could lead to too much blood loss and cause a problem. And you don't know that. So as someone who has seen that been done, I've seen that happen a ton. They handled it properly. But like I said, to an extent, they should have put Vaseline on it the first time, not like the 5th or the 6th or the 7th when they finally did it. I think they missed that opportunity. Excuse me. They missed that opportunity to stop the cut that was bleeding so vivaciously earlier on. So, yeah, you wouldn't stop the match and ruin the momentum. But from a health perspective, they did the right thing. They had to do it. And then the crowd chanting, fuck PG, let them bleed. You know what? I'm sorry. I think that's completely immature and irresponsible. It's the wrestler's health and safety. They have to do it. So deal with it.
I mean, that's just the modern current day that we're in. I mean, they do it in all forms of like combat sports. So.
Yeah.
It has nothing to do with PG. It just has to do with the wrestler's safety, the athlete's safety, whatever. And I think they're being a little too overcautious, but I understand, and it has nothing to do with PG. I mean, that's just fucking stupid to say.
Yeah. I know, and it's not the main roster where if you say fuck PG, that would actually make sense. But the match itself, I really enjoyed it. I thought there were a lot of parts to it that were very physical. I wish Samoa Joe, selfishly, would have won so Finn could get caught up with the Bullet Club. But obviously, they don't have the plans for that right now. I don't know when that's going to be because Finn is also advertised for the European tour in June with NXT. So I don't know what they're going to do. Great match, though. Great match. I loved it. But I selfishly wanted Joe to win so Finn could get caught up. I think it's Finn's time to come up. He's been coming this December. He'll be in NXT for 2 full years.
And he's in his mid-30s. It's time. I mean, these guys who are coming in at an older age, it's getting to be now or never with them to the main roster. I mean, Samoa Joe's like 38 years old.
But he might not go up to the main roster, though.
Well, I mean, but that's what I'm saying. I mean, if they're going to do that, then they need to do it kind of soon.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I agree.
I mean, they're in their primes now.
Yeah, and that's the problem. I mean, and Anderson and Gallows aren't that young either. Neither is AJ Styles, which is why AJ went to the main roster right away.
Well, AJ was making too big of money to
that's
to
true.
Go to NXT. That would be a waste.
Which is funny. Did you see the tweet from Tyler Breeze?
The tweet about I don't know. Well, there was one about how he's beaten someone or something else.
So someone asked, he was doing a Q&A, and somebody asked him, "Hey, do you wish you went back to NXT where they actually used you?" And Tyler Breeze said, "I just went to the bank. I'm good."
But see, that's the point I've been making all along, as we've talked about this on the podcast, and I have talked about how naive it is for fans to say that, oh, he should want to stay in NXT. I'm sorry. Do you want to make $40,000 a year or $200,000 a year?
Yeah.
It is a job. Get real, dude.
And that's and that always brings me back to one of the best promos that I've ever witnessed. Was Kevin Nash and CM Punk were going back and forth. Punk was going. He said he had a quick-witted jab, and then Kevin's like, "You know what you should be saying? Back in 1996, when Scott Hall and I changed the business and got guaranteed money for everyone in the back, say thank you, Mr. Nash." Well, it's all about the money.
Well, yeah, it's a job. I mean, we all have jobs,
Yeah.
And you want to make as much money as possible. Yeah, I mean, it's just pretty common sense. I mean, if you have to be explaining that, you're pretty fucking stupid. But
so Takeover Dallas, I gave it an A+. Personally, I could watch it again.
It was very good. I would give it a solid A.
Would you have fixed it in any way? Would you have done something different? I think you already said, aside from having Baron win.
I may have thrown in another surprise, something with a story, or some sort of a surprise.
What about like a Bray Wyatt reunion, or like a return, or like a Wyatt family return, or like I don't know, Seth Rollins coming out? I don't know.
Maybe Kurt Angle comes out with American Alpha.
That would have been cool.
Something, just a little something like that is all I'm saying. I mean, we're talking very nitpicky. Yeah. It was a great show.
Yeah, it was. All right, so WrestleMania 32, Kalisto beat Ryback. Who cares? Moving on, Team Total Divas. Did you have anything to add on to that match, by the way?
I thought it was terrible. Okay. I thought the they let you know it was basically Bree's retirement match. It was the Bree-tirement, and this was on the pre-show.
All right, take off your skeptic hat.
It was rushed.
Well, no, and it was. But here's my problem with that. Hey, Brie Bella seems like a great person, and she deserves to finally start a family with Daniel. And hey, that's the goal, right? Have a kids, have a family, and be happy. So if she's happy, good for her. Brie, like her sister, did improve over time and actually dedicate themselves to it. Not like Lana, who I believe is using it for fame. But either way, here's the problem that I have. Brie Bella, who did not have a retirement segment on Raw. Do you want to know what the reason is?
You were very disappointed, I know.
I was disappointed for good reason, and I tweeted about it. At Jon Fisher WNCT. There's a reason I did that. Do you know what? Seriously, do you know the reason why she did not have any go-away send-off on Raw?
Tell us the reason, John.
It's because it's going to be on the next season of Total Fucking Divas. Which is why that show should go to hell. Because, yeah, Brie Bella is not very popular. She's not a great wrestler. She's not a great talker. Her music sucks. But she's a wrestler who devoted nearly a decade to the craft and the product. And because she wasn't getting a title shot, she didn't fucking cry like a baby and quit. She stuck in it. She married one of my favorite wrestlers. And she's a good person. So you deserve a little send-off, especially what your husband had to endure 2 months beforehand. Like, fuck you. Total Divas fucking is terrible. The ratings are at an all-time low. It should be getting canceled. Oh, but it's getting another season, so fuck everyone else. I just don't understand. Brie Bella deserved a little send-off. 5 minutes. 5 minutes. It could have really, like, take out anything the Big Show or Social Outcasts were involved in. Give Brie 5 minutes in the ring. Say thank you. Like, come on. Like I said,
no, yeah, you're exactly right. I mean, it's like I said, it was a nothing. It was just a pre-show thing. The match was sloppy. I mean, she did have a very nice counter or transition into her submission. I mean, that was good. It was cool. And it was nice that she won on her way out, but they just made such a nothing out of it. It was like stupid. And yeah, I know they're saving it for Total Divas, and she's going to stay on Total Divas, and Nikki is too. It's whatever. It's just, it's just stupid, I thought. And Lana can't wrestle.
Honestly, the highlight of the match, aside from Brie Bella, was Lana smacking her own ass.
Yeah. It's oh my God. I mean, it was like everything we talk about that was bad about like the divas, not the women's wrestlers per se, but the divas. This pretty much embodied a lot of that.
Yeah, that really was it. And it's a shame because Emma, Paige, and Natalya, who are all fantastic wrestlers, are stuck in that bullshit. But what can you do? Usos defeated the Dudley Boys. No one gave a shit. So on to the main show. I hope you had no, analysis.
No, you're right. No, nobody gave a shit was pretty accurate.
Okay, on to the main show. By the way, out of the 11 matches on for WrestleMania, I got 3 of them right. And it's not like I was happy that I couldn't predict it. It just the booking made no sense.
Oh, the booking was terrible. I mean, if you're talking like, okay, 2 big names in wrestling, 2 big superstars, and you don't know who's going to win, that's a good time that it's unpredictable, right?
Yeah.
This was like fucking terrible booking endings, and it was unpredictable in a bad way.
Yeah. So let's start out. I think the first match though was an exception. Zack Ryder won the Intercontinental Championship in the ladder match, which was a very good match. It was organized. It had great spots. It told a story, and Ryder won. Last year's was, I thought, a little bit sloppy. This year's raised the bar a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, it was, it was a good match. I liked it. I enjoyed it. I mean, it was what it was. I mean, Zack Ryder winning, yeah, I thought he was going to win, but no, I thought it was the wrong move. I do. I thought it was the wrong move. He was a transitional champion. I knew that was the deal. The money is in Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens. I thought Kevin Owens should have retained, and I thought Sami Zayn should have chased him as the babyface chasing the heel for the title. I thought that's where the heat and the money were, and I thought that should have been the ending. In fact, Kevin Owens was actually scheduled to win the match.
Yep.
And then it changed, like not long before the show, it changed, and to Zack Ryder, who replaced Neville, although Neville was not ever going to win.
Nope.
It was going to be Kevin Owens, and so they made the change. It was fine. It was good. It was a feel-good moment for Zack Ryder, but I want to give you Dave Meltzer's take on this match and what Zack Ryder had to say about winning this match. Take a listen.
Zack Ryder came out, and people were chanting, "You deserve it." And then he said it was the greatest night of his life, which I'm going to say something that people are going to get mad about.
Don't say it then.
No,
say it.
I mean, it's like I don't know. It's like when someone says that winning, like, it can be cool. It's a good professional thing and all that. But winning some fake title that means absolutely nothing, that you're not really seriously winning because they don't have any faith in you in the least. They're throwing you a bone to use you to beat somebody else who also isn't any good anyway. And that's your greatest night of your life. I mean, granted, they probably scripted him to say that.
This was a guy that grew up loving wrestling. He got that picture taken with Razor Ramon, and he got to be in front of 97,769 at
I don't know.
For a guy who loves wrestling.
I guess in that sense it's pretty cool. But I would hope like the greatest moment in my life was not like the best story I ever wrote or anything like that. It's not even close.
Wait till you go to that damn Hall of Fame.
What?
Wait till you go to that Hall of Fame.
When I go to that ain't gonna be the greatest moment in my life. That ain't
You're
gonna be even
come home and go, man.
That won't even be in my top 50.
When I was little, I read Jim Melby, and now I was in that Hall of Fame. You're gonna say it.
I am going to say that because that's actually true, and it is a nice honor and everything. But it's life isn't like fake wrestling.
There you go. Your thoughts on that?
I don't know. I'm a person that believes in art imitates life, so I don't know. I get involved in wrestling so much because it is an escape from reality because it isn't real per se, and that's me saying that. I've backed up wrestling is real forever, but for me, if that happened to me, yeah, it'd be one of the best days of my life. Truthfully, I mean, okay, so I was nominated for an Emmy Award. I thought that was one of the coolest moments ever, right? Like, it was wonderful. But like winning a championship, albeit it's not, you were written to win it. See, I don't know. I have to disagree with the Meltzer bomb there. But then again, I'm a naive 22-year-old wrestling fan, so whatever.
It was definitely interesting.
Oh yeah, to say the least.
Definitely interesting. Yeah.
But good match though. Meltzer bomb made that 4 stars. So clearly he liked it. And Sin Cara he exceeded my expectations. Sin Cara.
Yeah, I totally expected him to fuck something up.
And he didn't. He had a couple good spots. And what about this the Dusty Rhodes ladder by Cody? That was cool.
Well, yeah, okay. So yeah, it was cool in the sense that the tribute to Dusty because he died, but at the same time, he's a heel, and a heel would never typically, do something like that. That's a babyface move. And Dusty Rhodes, right before he died, pretty much said, I don't want to be remembered for the polka dot shit in WWF because that was, a minor blip on his long tenured historic career, and it's not one that he really was overly fond of.
But okay, so we learned, and what a hell of a segue by me. What happens if not in WWE doesn't matter. Moving on to the Chris Jericho AJ Styles match. Speaking of, rest in peace, Blackjack Mulligan, who died earlier today at 76 years old.
Yeah. So Bo and Bray are probably. Well, they probably won't be on TV Raw. I don't know. But they obviously. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. They went to be with their grandfather, who was just a real tough bastard.
Robert Wyndham. Ladies and gentlemen, any relation to Barry Windham? That might sound like a dumb question. Brothers,
a lot of people in wrestling are related.
Well,
it's kind of like going to West Virginia.
I was curiously wondering if those Wyndhams were related because I don't know. Do you know, or are you just making fun of me? Or
I'm going to introduce you to a thing.
Yeah.
Something new.
Yeah.
Something you haven't heard of.
Oh, boy.
I want you to go to the internet.
I was asking you because you know a lot about wrestling. I was just curious.
No, I know, but I want you to go to the internet.
I'm on the internet right now. What do you need to know?
Okay. All right, I want you to type this into the bar up at the top where you would enter your URL.
Yes.
W.
Yeah.
W.
Yeah.
W.
Yeah.
Dot.
I would hope there's a dot.
Wikipedia.org.
Are we actually doing this for real? What's wrong with asking you if Robert and Barry Windham are related? Nothing's wrong with it.
No, I mean,
They're brothers.
They're not. Okay. Moving on.
Did you know that?
We're in a tight timeline here.
Did you know that? Did you know that they were brothers? Wait, no. Blackjack Mulligan is Barry's dad. Never mind. Because Barry Windham in the Indies was known as Blackjack Mulligan Jr. Okay.
I am so glad that I introduced you to Wikipedia. Now, you know who they say? Someone was saying that they said some officials in WWE said that Baron Corbin could be the next Barry Windham, they thought, which I thought was very interesting.
You're kidding me.
No. Because Barry Windham was a really great worker. Yeah, not in his like Widowmaker WWF days per se, but the older school Barry Windham. I didn't really see the connection per se, but it's a high compliment. So I guess we'll see, or we did see on Raw. So who knows? Okay. Next, we had Chris Jericho and AJ Styles, and I thought this was fucking stupid.
Good match, though. Meltzer Bomb gave it 4 stars.
Yeah, it's like, okay, good for him. It's like, whatever. I've seen the match over and over. We've seen it too many times. It was good. I mean, it was whatever. I didn't think Chris Jericho should have won. I thought that was stupid. AJ Styles needs to get his win, and he needs to do it on the biggest stage. Where he's being introduced to new members of the audience. I mean, it just made sense to give him the big win and look like a winner. So no, basically Fandango did what AJ Styles couldn't. Beat Chris Jericho at WrestleMania.
Okay, that means Fandango versus AJ Styles at Payback, right?
Oh yeah, should be a 5-star match.
By the way, if everyone has nothing to do after listening to this podcast, go and find Wrestling News Hub on Facebook. We just posted a video of Randy Orton RKOing Shane McMahon off the top of the cell. So figure out for everyone's viewing pleasure. Anyway, sorry, I had to put that in there. So AJ Styles, Chris Jericho. Yeah, great match. I loved it. Loved every minute of it until the end. Why doesn't AJ Styles win? You lose on Mania against Jericho, but you're the number 1 contender for the WWE Championship the next night?
Well, you'll find out, but my overall assessment basically of WrestleMania is that the message was it didn't matter.
Well, okay, I have a rebuttal coming up later. But all in all, Jericho should not have lost or should not have won. He should have did the job to Styles. But that's what I think of that. So the League of Douchebags defeated the New Day. Just so Austin, HBK, and McFoley come out afterwards. Your assessment, because when I knew that the title was not on the line, I knew League of Douchebags was going to win. But I forgot that the 3 legends were supposed to come out. So that made the moment very cool. For me, it was nostalgic. And the New Day entrance was beautiful.
Yeah, but it's like, okay, the New Day entrance was beautiful, and these guys are actually over, right? And then they job them out to the fucking League of Nations, who nobody cares about, who have no momentum. The titles weren't on the line. And then they have Austin, HBK, and Mick Foley come out and make them look like fucking geeks again. I thought this was stupid. I thought this was a waste of the 3 legends coming out. I don't think it did the New Day any favors. I thought it was stupid. I thought it was not creative. Yeah, that's what I thought in a nutshell.
Would you rather not have had those 3 legends come out? Because I beg to differ. I'd rather.
How about you use them properly?
Like interrupting in the last match or 2? Which we'll get into that later.
I mean, it's like they had these 3 guys and they didn't know what to do with them, so they just set up a situation where they just, the League of Nations won so that these 3 legends could come out and just dominate all the talent that's on the road, 250 days a year. I just thought it was fucking retarded. Yeah.
Yeah, see, if it were me, I would have been like, oh, well, Steve, Mick, Michael, here's what you guys are going to do. You're going to go out there and make Roman look really strong. But that didn't happen. Well, goddamn, Roman's going to walk out as a champ. He needs to win. So
He's got to look strong.
Michaels, you're going to go hit him with a super kick. And then he's going to block it in the Superman punch. He's going to hit that big Superman punch with the right hand right in your face. Sell it like the Rock would. Steve, you know what that's like. Yeah, so I would have had him do that. At least make someone look strong. So on to the most disappointing match of the night. Brock Lesnar and Dean Ambrose. Personally, I don't even want to talk about it because what's there to talk about? It was a 12-minute piss fest, which I was very upset over.
Yeah, this was in my top 2 matches I was looking forward to.
Me too. I thought along with that, the women could have stolen the show.
You know, I'm a big Dean Ambrose fan, and man, they just keep killing him. First of all, Dean Ambrose should have won this match. I don't care what anyone says. They set up a protective stipulation so that if Dean Ambrose wins, it doesn't hurt Brock Lesnar much, okay? Let's be honest. He could take a loss in a situation like that, and he's still Brock Lesnar. But Dean Ambrose can't afford to take a loss and keep going on. This would have made him a star, okay? Yep. Not just another guy, which is what he looked like. He got his ass kicked. And it was 12 minutes, and he got in one hope spot, essentially, and he couldn't use any real weapons because he tried. He asked them, and they fucking told him no. The stuff he wanted to do, they told him no. He couldn't do it in the match. So they had a very watered-down, basically old-school, hardcore WWF match or something. I mean, it was just... Man, it was so disappointing. They continue to book him in a way too weak of a manner. He continues to be very much over. It was 50-50, I think, with the crowd in Lesnar, which is amazing. Amazing considering how poorly he's been booked overall. They have something there with him, and they just don't want to go all the way because they're afraid.
Why not?
Keep going with him, but it's because of Roman. Everyone knows it, the deal. They keep going with him. He's going to make Roman look foolish. So yeah, I mean that's the way it was, and then they had on the big screen hanging above the ring there, in the audience live, which we couldn't see, but they had the count of suplexes going for the audience to count along. That's why the audience was chanting the number because it was popping up on the screen. I mean, this wasn't even a match that really highlighted Dean Ambrose. It was just fucking goofy. What good did this do anybody? Not a fan.
Nobody, and it was, like I said, extremely, extremely disappointing. To where I sat there, I texted my friend, and I'm like, was that really it? Was that there? Like, what should have been a 20-minute extravaganza with blood. By the way, there was no blood all night long.
Oh yeah, I mean, you talk about a match that was supposed to be a street fight, and there's no blood. I mean, this is just. I mean, it was just a total joke.
That's a good way to put it. It truly was a joke, and I would never think I would say that for a Dean Ambrose Brock Lesnar street fight.
But it wasn't their fault. I mean, they could have made something really spectacular out of this, and only WWE has that knack to really take something big and totally fuck it up and make it much less interesting than it could be.
Tell me how you really feel. Oh, I think you just did. No, it truly was. It was just disappointing. I think that's the best way to put it. Very disappointing. So where do you go from here? Brock's not on TV.
Well, I can tell you where they go from here. Dean Ambrose is going to feud with fucking Chris Jericho in the mid-card. Seriously.
Yeah. Yeah, I think you're right. Damn. Well, nothing else we can do really there. I mean, yeah, it was disappointing. It was so disappointing. Anyway, moving on to something not as disappointing. The women's match. Charlotte, Becky Lynch, Sasha Banks. In my opinion, match of the night. The ladder match right behind it. A great spot. Charlotte's moonsault off the top rope onto the floor was fucking fabulous. Sasha and Becky, hard-hitting, fast-paced. Charlotte kept up with them. I have no complaints here.
Sloppy Charlotte botched and fucked up Becky's eye.
Is that what happened?
Yeah, 6 stitches. Thanks, Charlotte.
Where was the botch? I didn't see it.
I was coming out of the corner spot. Was it a moonsault? I can't remember, but it was like a corner spot with the 3 of them, and it may have been a moonsault. I can't remember, but she kicked her good, and just busted her eye. And that's where it came from. You know, Charlotte she's got some of the tools to be a top woman wrestler in WWE. Don't get me wrong, especially as a heel. But she's just some little thing, and it's probably more little things for the most part that, you know, you would have to pay attention to, but they're just so sloppy. She's really got to tighten that stuff up, and I'm not saying she can't, but yeah. It was a good match. It's definitely, I mean, when you look at past women's matches at WrestleMania, I think this was a big deal. This was not just like, let's throw 10 divas together or 20 divas or whatever. This was an actual serious match, and this was for the women's championship. And I couldn't be happier that they retired that fucking divas title, that total joke of a belt, that butterfly belt. That? I mean, you know, it was great. Now the belt I'm not overly fond of. I mean, I think, and it's not just a women's belt. I think the men's belt, it looks like a fucking toy. So I'm not very fond of it.
See, I like the belt.
But I mean, it's an improvement. It's an improvement by far over what it was. And I really like them being called superstars like the men. It's the women's division or what have you. I love that. I'm so glad to be putting this divas bullshit behind.
And I think that has a lot to do with Triple H. I don't think that's a Vince McMahon call. Do you? Because I certainly don't.
I mean, he had to be okay with it, I think. You know, he's the final call on everything, but I don't think he came up with that himself by any stretch of the imagination. I mean, this is the same guy when he was running Raw. He was having Trish Stratus on her knees barking like a dog during the Attitude.
Yeah, that's yeah. That's true. Okay. Undertaker and Shane McMahon. Okay, before we get into the elephant in the room, what do you think of the ending? The winner.
Oh, I thought it was a major disappointment.
The match or the ending? The ending. I'm focused on the ending here because obviously
I thought the ending was a major disappointment.
Okay,
the spot was great. I mean, it was dangerous, but it was great. Yeah. It was a spectacle. I'm referring to the actual. It was just like, you know, he moves out of the way, he goes down, they go back in the ring. Undertaker hits a tombstone, and it's game over. No interference. The cage was knocked over, so it was prime opening for interference. Where was Vince McMahon during this match? All the box of secrets he had on the line, the control of his company, and he's nowhere to be found. Are you kidding me? How does that make sense?
Yeah, they fucked that up. They did.
There's no Stephanie, there's no Hunter, there's no Vince, there's no anybody.
Damn it, Shane, stop it! Look at Randy Orton slithering. Watch out!
I gotta say, what a hell of a call by Michael Cole on that one. I thought that was very well done.
Yeah, I didn't think so.
I love that for the love of Mankind because Mankind jumped off the table.
Yeah, but he totally didn't sell the fact that Shane McMahon was up there about to go X amount of feet down. He's got his kids there at ringside. You know, there's so much more he could have added to it before the move.
Well, I'm talking
before
to the
move itself,
to the standards of Michael Cole.
Yeah. Well, for the standards of Michael Cole, it was good. If it was JR calling that would have sucked. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, good point. But yeah, there was no like Triple H. There was no Shawn Michaels. There was no Steve Austin. There was no Kane. You know,
the whole point of this stipulation was meaningless because Shane McMahon lost. And by the way, they had him actually out there telling people WWE sucks because they're pushing guys you don't like. And everything he was saying, a lot of smart fans would agree with.
Sure.
And he said, I'm going to change that. I'm going to win. And when I win, I'm going to change that. And you know what Vince did? He couldn't even let that happen in storyline. He fucking beat him. So no hope for you guys. It was unreal. It was nothing more than Shane McMahon was a last-minute match filler so The Undertaker could have an opponent at WrestleMania. A huge disappointment, considering the spectacle this could have been.
Yeah, I can't disagree with that. By the way, that chicken has a sell date by April 6th. Is that still bad? Or is that still good to go if I cook it tonight?
Yeah, we're recording on the 7th of April. It should be good.
You sure?
Well, yeah, I mean, it's a day. That's kind of like the 3-second rule. You drop something on the floor, you pick it up in 3 seconds, and you can still eat it.
Have you
Kind of
cooked
the
something
same
that
principle here.
it was good? Okay, you didn't hear me. Have you ever cooked something the day after the sell-by date?
I don't cook.
Has your wife cooked something on this day after?
I don't allow that. Because
now
I'm
you're making-
smart. You should be fine.
Whatever. All right, so
The worst thing that happens is this is a solo podcast.
that's right. Cool. This. Can I cook? While I do that, the arm bar, which was aside from the ending, was a joke. You want to know why it was a joke? Because Shaquille O'Neal was in it.
Oh man, the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. That thing was, I'm very happy Baron Corbin won. Don't get me wrong.
too.
I'm a Baron
Me too.
Corbin fan, as you know. I've been saying I think he's a star in the making for, going back to last year in our podcast. In fact, I said he should have faced The Undertaker and beat him, as you know, on our podcast as well. This was months ago. Okay, so I thought they still did this wrong. They have Baron Corbin come out very randomly. They don't put him over at all as he's walking down the ring. It's like, oh, there's Baron Corbin. There's no introduction to the WWE main roster audience.
Yeah, that was
weird. I mean,
that was very weird.
How many times does this need to happen before they realize we've got to start introducing these guys that we call up? I mean, it's fucking common sense, you goddamn idiots.
But see, on Raw, they did it with the Crews and Enzo and Cass, and who else? Fucking, that's it, I think. But they did it on Raw. So what's the hurt?
I thought that was stupid too, and we'll get into that. But it's like, yeah, the big surprise was Shaquille O'Neal. I don't give a fuck about that. Congratulations. Thanks for teasing the dream match of Shaquille O'Neal and Big Show for next year's WrestleMania.
Yeah,
I'm sure there's a whole line of people waiting to buy tickets for that event right now.
Isn't that crazy?
What's crazy is it very well may happen.
Well, I hope it doesn't happen. I really hope it doesn't happen. By the way, viewers, I'm cooking while doing the podcast. That is a whole form of skill that you just cannot teach. Get that? Because Enzo. Okay.
Yeah, that was.
Rock.
I was just. Gonna say that. Okay, so it's like Corbin didn't do much during the match. Okay, which I thought was a mistake as well. He should have been booked strong during the Rumble or during the Battle Royal itself. And it's just kind of like he all of a sudden appears, throws Kane over, and wins. And that was pretty much
just like that. Just like that.
Yeah.
Isn't that nuts? And were they really going to do anything different? Nah, probably not. Because why does it matter? Really? Like, I don't know, man.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm glad they had it on the main card. I'm glad Baron Corbin won. So those are a couple of positives for me. But anyway,
The Rock and a flamethrower, which was cool as shit. To me.
Oh, I thought it was super lame.
Oh, come on! It's Dwayne.
I did. This was the most boring Dwayne appearance, Dwayne The Rock Johnson, that I have seen in a long time.
We will agree to disagree because I love Dwayne. Dwayne comes and goes doing whatever he wants. I thought no problem with it. Yeah, it was a little like gimmicky, but who cares?
He came out to promote. That's it. It was just a rambling on, very boring promo from The Rock. It was boring. It was just pointless. It's like they promoted this whole thing. He promoted it. They promoted it. He's going to do something big and special and blah, blah, blah. You know what special is? Beating Eric Rowan in fucking 6 seconds. Whoop-de-goddamn doodah.
He had fire. He had fire, Brad. He fucking had fire.
Yeah. I wish he had fire because then I may have actually cared about this. I mean, he had
a flamethrower.
Who cares? It was boring.
The people.
I just thought it was a total waste.
The people care.
They could have done so much more with The Rock.
Yeah, like not bury the Wyatt family.
Yeah, I want to get Vince Russo and Disco Inferno's take on this.
Okay.
You're right. He did. He tore them a new asshole on the mic, and and I want to get their take on. And this is probably very relevant to what would have happened, in the Attitude Era. But we'll listen to their take on this real quick.
Okay.
Well, I'm not saying, like you said, we're talking about these kids these days. Bro, show some balls. You've got a live mic on a live show.
I agree.
Throw the script in the trash.
Yes.
And if you have confidence that what you're going to say is better than what they're giving you,
Yes.
and you know it's going to pop and get over, say it. Because that's the only way you're going to get over these days is not by the stuff that they're giving them, because the stuff that they're giving them is burying them.
Yep.
And
Yeah. And I think that explains it pretty well in a nutshell. You're going to have to take a chance. You're going to have to take the script and throw it out the window and improvise and take a chance on getting in trouble. Because it's so scripted these days. That's the only way you're going to have a magical moment or get any momentum with the fans. I mean, it was just it was so bad what The Rock did to the Wyatts. It was terrible booking. He just made them look like absolute fucking jabronis.
But the funniest part was that Rock requested to work with them.
Well, they could have done a lot better than that. I mean, don't sit there. I'm not going to listen to anybody tell me that they got a rub out of working with The Rock on that segment because I don't believe it.
And Cena, as much as I loved Cena's appearance, didn't help the situation much.
How many times is that guy going to fucking bury the Wyatts at WrestleMania? God damn.
Well, it wasn't the WrestleMania 30 wasn't the first time, I guess.
Jesus
oh well.
Christ. I mean, it was what it was, and he fucking made Eric Rowan, this big goofy bastard. He made him look like total fucking total horse shit. And then they turn around and Raw and actually have this guy look like a tough guy. No one's going to buy that bullshit. The Rock just clowned him out in 6 seconds. I mean, it's just... That didn't matter. That's why. Because WrestleMania didn't matter. But yeah, I mean, it was what it was. It was like they just brought back these legends. And they didn't use them properly. They just brought them back for a pop, for a WrestleMania moment, because it's all about fucking moments now, not finalizing storylines and feuds. And it's just is what it is.
That's a good point. All right. So the main event. Well, that was that, huh? That was that main event. Roman won clean, end of story. Stephanie McMahon looked really hot. That's all I got to say.
Yeah, but how many times? I mean, Hunter gets the best entrance in WrestleMania. How many years now? I mean, the guy, he never misses a chance to put himself over.
Yeah, it's so funny. People actually thought, and I got this from Matt McCarthy from We Watch Wrestling podcast. Why wasn't Shayna Taker at the end? Because, well, Triple H, you're going to get put over by Triple H. That's the best honor in the world. That's the mindset.
Yeah. I don't think that really has ever been a realistic mindset in WWE.
Yeah. Well, you're not entirely wrong. You're not entirely wrong at all. So we go from there to what do you think of Raw? I gave Raw what did I give it? I gave it a 7.5 out of 10 because of the wrestlers. Barring the main event, I thought the wrestling was good.
Yeah, no, I mean it was a pretty fun show overall. The booking made absolutely no sense. It really proved to me that WrestleMania didn't matter. It was its own thing. It wasn't part of any storyline continuity. You could totally not watch it and watch Raw, and it wouldn't. You miss WrestleMania, it didn't matter because it's just totally different.
Which brings us to Monday Night Raw.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't think it was as good as a lot of past post WrestleMania Raws.
Yeah,
but it wasn't completely terrible either.
So no, it was not. So Monday Night Raw I thought was great overall. Overall, I say, but the beginning pissed me off the most, and that was whenever the announcers were warning us that this will be a weird crowd that boos who you would normally cheer for and cheers who you would normally boo.
How stupid was that? And everybody knows that's just fucking Vince McMahon telling them to say that. So when Roman Reigns gets booed out of the goddamn building, they have an excuse for it on TV.
That, as a broadcast professional who has announced championship games and have won awards for my broadcasting, it was a slap in my face. Truly a true slap in my face. For good reason, I think. You're totally calling a crowd stupid.
Oh, absolutely. They love insulting their audience. I mean, that's a fact.
Yeah.
That was the hit or miss, total miss for me. I thought it was insulting to the audience intelligence. Very
insulting. That's all it was. It was just insulting. So fuck it, whatever, dude. Whatever. All right. So the opening segment we had
Vince and Shane.
Yeah, Vince gave Shane Raw anyway. He gave it to him anyway.
So, like I said, there was no point to WrestleMania. Shane comes out. Shane says, "You know what? You're right, Dad. You beat me." Shakes his head and says, "Goodbye, everyone." And Vince says, "Oh, no. You're not going to get one over on me. I'm going to make you the general manager for the night."
Because he wanted to see this train wreck.
And then Shane, really essentially he appears in one more backstage segment. There was nothing different about this Raw that Shane, they didn't put him into any of the other real storylines throughout the night. It was a total fucking waste. It was so stupid. What was the point of this? In the box of secrets, the lock box of secrets, Vince just made a brief comment. "Oh, yeah, I have that now." Yeah, okay, great. I mean, this was just terrible storytelling.
Unless they didn't want to give too much away too soon.
Yeah. I wouldn't put a lot of faith in that.
Hopefully I'm wrong. But yeah, that was a miss for me too. I mean, I didn't really understand it. Just then why have Shane lose? Why have him lose? The New Day defeated the League of Douchebags, and then the League of Douchebags attacked King Barrett for being the weak link, so he's out of the group.
And again, why did their WrestleMania match matter? They had a bunch of matches. New Day's won everyone but WrestleMania. They come onto Monday Night Raw. They defeat the League of Nations, and then they kick out King Barrett, who will be leaving the company. This was just pointless, and nobody wants to see the League of Nations, and they haven't figured this out yet.
I don't know why. I wish I did. But no, there's really no reason. I don't understand. And then the New Day.
I think the New Day needs a dastardly heel team to face. That's what they need.
Which is who?
Team with heat. There is no fucking team right now. They need a team with heat. Nobody in the goddamn company has any heat. I mean, none of these WrestleMania matches had any heat.
Primo and Epico.
Jesus.
Sorry.
Yeah.
You
Okay.
asked.
Apollo Crews beats Tyler Breeze in his Raw debut.
Great debut. I think the casual fan base, albeit not very many, got behind him, and that's not what we want. Apollo's a great wrestler, good guy. Just needs some help on the mic a little bit, and he'll be solid.
Yeah, I'm not the biggest Apollo Crews fan.
See, I am. I really like Apollo. I think he's going to be a star.
He's short.
He's not short.
He's short.
No, he's not.
Yes.
How
Yes.
tall is he? How tall is he?
5'0" to be exact.
No, he's not short. You're an idiot. He's John Cena. He has the build of John Cena, but he's black. And he has
he's
charisma.
short.
He's not short. Where are you getting this in your head?
You'll see. We're going to the live event. You very well may see Apollo Crews. And you're gonna see me, by the way, tower over this guy. That's a fact.
You're 6'4", right?
6'6".
You're 6'6". Are you really 6'6"? Damn, I'm 5'9". You're going to be towering over me.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. A Crews for me is just, he's not bad. He's just not great to me. I thought there was other people they could have brought up to the roster instead. And by the way, they brought up too many people on Raw. They introduced or reintroduced far too many people in one show on Raw. And when you do that, you reintroduce or introduce that many new guys on a show, it takes away naturally from any momentum they have. It doesn't allow them to stand out as much to the audience that's being introduced to them. So I thought that was a mistake. But he beat Tyler Breeze, who came up from NXT, is a total jobber now. And frankly, I think Apollo Crews is going to get a little momentum for a while, and he's going to fall into the mid card, and that's essentially going to be it.
I hope you're wrong. I really do. Well, what the hell happened next? I forget. I'm trying to be the next chef of America here. So
we had the Roman Reigns the guy promo.
Oh!
I'm not a bad guy. I'm not.
I loved it. I loved it. He was a total. No, that was brilliant. He was a total cocksucker, and it worked. It worked. I love that promo.
Yeah, it was a neat line. I don't know. He didn't deliver it the best, but I think that sort of that sort of an approach for him is far better than what they've been doing. The only thing is, they're not turning him heel, so it's like, is he going to be a tweener? What is he? Is he going to make the heel turn? That's what we need to find out. But
I'll take him as a tweener.
Shit, anything is better than what they've been doing. I'll say that.
No, I thought his promo was great. Short, simple, to the point. I don't care who the fuck you are. And then after that happened, Jericho came out, pissed in his Fruity Pebbles, and then you had fucking Kevin Owens come out and say, fuck your shit. And Sami Zayn came out, and everyone fucking went ballistic because everyone loves Sami Zayn. And then, who else came? AJ Styles came out and said, I do this a lot, blah blah blah. I have really weird hair, and then.
He does. He's got that speak to the manager haircut of a soccer mom.
Yeah. There was a part in the match in the main event where Kevin Owens said, "Get out of here, you stupid haircut." So
who do you think has worse? Who has worse hair, Chris Jericho or AJ Styles?
Oh, I love Chris Jericho's hair, so AJ Styles.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it led to a fatal four-way for the number one contendership later in the night.
Which is better than most matches at Mania.
Yeah. We had Baron Corbin and Dolph Ziggler in Corbin's Raw debut, and I want to get your thoughts on this. I have a strong opinion on this, and I want to get your thoughts on it.
I think it was the wrong opponent for Corbin. I mean, he needed an enhancement match, not an upper mid card guy. They let Corbin. He had a nice spot with his 6 something fucking shit. I don't know, 6 something, 6 speed, 6 end. I don't know.
Deep 6.
Whatever, sure. With the deep cock 6, and It was a great spot out on the
The
ramp.
penis jokes have returned.
Yes, because Gawker hasn't leg dropped anybody yet. Just Hogan's dick. No, it was. I thought it was a great spot, a great match. Not great. I shouldn't say great. It was a good match. But Corbin's promo was that they should not write anything for him ever again. Exhibit A.
Well, how about writing a promo that matches his fucking character?
Yeah.
You know, I mean, that was just like so generic, so cheesy. Didn't match his character from what we've seen in NXT.
Nope.
I just thought it was just ridiculous. And he did the best he could with it. But it was just not a great promo, the material.
Nope.
How hard is
100%.
it to book guys like a badass? I mean, how hard is it to book guys like they're not going to take any shit?
Well, when you have Dewey Foley writing promos, you know.
Yeah. He's over there cross-dressing to Becky Lynch and
by the way, how'd you like Frank the Clown getting a beer from McFoley at Mania?
Yeah, I would have put some rat poison in it personally, but
Oh, that's mean.
this guy, I'll tell you what, he is something else. That Frank the Clown.
Yeah, what happened next? What did Gary the intern have on the agenda here?
Well, I just wanted to say before I want to get my little rant in here.
Okay, go for it.
I think, look, if you're going to put him in there against Dolph Ziggler, and they thought, hey, Ziggler's an accomplished, athletic, good, solid worker, so he could have a good match, make him look good. The problem is nobody gets over when they're introduced to the audience and has a 15-minute match, a 15-minute 50-50 back and forth match. That's not how guys get over. They get over by kicking ass like Brock Lesnar, by Ronda Rousey, by you name it. Yeah, I mean, come on. It's common sense. I don't think this did much for him. I thought it was very underwhelming. If you're going to have him face Dolph Ziggler, he's got to beat the fuck out of Dolph Ziggler. I mean, he's got to beat him within 5 minutes. And instead, they have him hit his move. They put over his move to a degree, his finisher, which was good. I think nobody should kick out of that finisher. Nope. But you know what? It was a double count out. It made him look like a moron because he knocked him out and then didn't get back in the ring in time.
That's true.
It was just stupid. It made it look foolish. If he should have beat, you don't get momentum by a double count out with someone who's essentially a 50-50 jobber. You get it by kicking their ass, and that's exactly what he should have done here.
That's a good point. I forgot about the double count out. Yeah, that was a bit underwhelming. What are you going to do, man? You're facing against the machine. How are you going to combat it? You might not, So
we got the Miz. We got the Miz. Defeat Zack Ryder.
Well, okay. So Miz beat Ryder for the title. We all knew it was coming. Maurice made her return. Maurice is hot as shit. But the real takeaway from this match is Lillian Garcia's fuck up in the beginning. Like I said, I am a broadcast professional. All right, I've been working in television since I was 16, and I'm almost 23, so nearly 7 years in television. She fucked up, and she got into an argument with somebody at ringside and was mad about it. But you know what, Lillian?
It was slapping the apron. I mean, it was really awkward.
You're a professional. Don't fuck up. I'm sorry. Everyone makes mistakes, but learn to live with the consequences.
Well, we got to be honest, too. She fucks up far too much. I mean, that's just the truth. Seriously, for a broadcast professional, for an announcer, whatever you want to call her, everybody makes mistakes. She fucks up all the time, it seems like. I mean, come on.
We fucking, and now I have to bring up one of my favorite clips, a consistent clip. No, you're going to like this one. You're going to like this one. I promise you that. After the advertisement by DiGiorno, everyone for the perfect crust, you can get DiGiorno.
Are we sponsored by DiGiorno now? From
our bakers to your ovens, I'm not just a rising crust. Now that's a standing ovation. DiGiorno rise to the occasion. My favorite wrestler of all time.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the Superstar.
We also need Edge back, but I'm talking about Tony fucking Schimmel.
Yeah, Lillian is underwhelming.
You know who's pretty good? The new guy in NXT. He's not bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, Lillian
Yeah.
sucks.
Yeah,
So
so,
Zack
well, yeah. I mean, again, this is another example of why WrestleMania didn't fucking matter. Zack Ryder wins the championship and he loses it on Raw. He's a transitional champion all along, so they could put it on a heel.
Yep.
Kevin Owens should have gone over, but you know what? I like The Miz. I've got to be honest, and he gets a
I do
lot
too.
of shit. He's not the best worker. He's average at best, but who cares? I mean, every other part of his skill set is there. And you know what? He's a character, and now he's got Maurice with him. And I think that is going to be something interesting to watch. The Miz with Maurice, that's good stuff. I'm a fan of that.
She's a great heel, brother. Maurice was a great heel in her full time endeavors.
And the Miz is so obnoxious, so hated. He gets heat. It's perfect. It's perfect.
Absolutely. I could not agree any more. So after that, the Charlotte coronation ceremony. Here's the thing. I thought the intentions were well. I liked Lita being in the ring too, who introduced the belt initially at Mania. Charlotte cannot handle a crowd talking. And she's going to need to learn how to do that better. And who better to teach her than her father?
Right? Yeah, she froze like a pond in Antarctica.
Yeah.
This crowd ate her alive.
It's a shame because honestly, in NXT, Charlotte was good on the mic. And then she gets to the main roster and this happens? I don't know what it is. I don't.
She didn't know how to respond to the crowd. It was very awkward. And Ric Flair, the look at his face was he knew she couldn't handle it, and he looked like he was about to intervene. It was very awkward. And I thought it was very disrespectful on the part of the audience.
I would have broke script. Well, they wanted Bayley. I mean, sorry.
Okay, but this whole snarky bullshit of, okay, we think Bayley's gonna debut tonight because that's what everyone on the fucking internet says. And so we don't get our way. We're going to chant her name, and we're going to take over the show. And I think that's bullshit.
Well, they really didn't do nearly as bad of stuff as they've been accustomed to doing in years past.
I didn't like it. I thought it was disrespectful. The women are trying to put over the championship, the women's championship, and the crowd shit on it. Now, at the same time, I thought the segment was stupid. They knew the crowd they were going into, and they knew they weren't debuting Bayley. And why, by the way, if you're going to take this seriously as a championship, do we have all the heels and baby faces who dislike each other all out in the ring in the same segment, all talking about how wonderful this is? Like, they're all BFFs.
Yeah, well, they should have a Divas division and a women's division. A Divas division for the ones that can't wrestle, and a women's division for the ones that actually can. Like, Lana has no business being in the ring with Charlotte or Sasha or Becky. No reason. And while as hot as Lana is, still no excuse.
Lana is a great valet. That's where she should stay.
Hell yeah.
That's where she should stay, in my opinion.
Hell yeah. And that's no sexist remark. It's just the truth.
But I'm going to go even one step. This crowd was, I thought, totally disrespectful. I hated this fucking crowd. And in fact, I thought they were more interested in putting themselves over than enjoying the show and putting the talent over. I hated this crowd. And you know what? We get a lot of foreign fans, the WrestleMania crowd, the Smart Mark crowd. And a lot of the post-WrestleManias are real fun shows in the past. And they're loud. You know, they let you know who they love, who they hate. And I think that's great. I love that. But this crowd in particular reminded me of what the NXT crowd has become.
Well, see, the NXT crowd,
they're more concerned.
Fine.
They're more concerned with putting themselves over. Like, "We are awesome" was one of the chants. Than they are about actually enjoying the show. They didn't care about the show. They cared about putting themselves over. It was total bullshit. You know, people like that ought to just shove their head up their ass and stay home.
See, I thought the NXT crowd was pretty well behaved, except for the fuck PG and we'll let them bleed chants. Other than that. But that's just one man's opinion. No, Charlotte.
Loud. You can be boisterous. You can have an opinion, whether or not they like it. But Jesus Christ, there's a fine line between that and just trying to put yourself over and being disrespectful. And it's total bullshit.
That's true.
I thought it was fucking terrible representation of wrestling fans. And then they wonder why, the smart fans pull shit like this, and they wonder why we can't get what we want.
And we, as in you and me, that's very true.
Yeah, because we're smart fans too.
Yes, we are. And it's just one of those things, like, it's just one of those things. Yeah, and that's exactly what we are. And we're trying to be, the marks, of course, but we're trying to be fans and analysts as well. So when you have a crowd like that, I don't know, dude. I just don't know.
Yeah. Well, then we had the Primo and Epico vignette, and if things weren't weird enough.
Who fucking cares? Let's move on.
Well, I just want to say, okay, I'm glad they're not bullfighters anymore. They're not the Puerto Rican fake Spanish bullfighters.
But now they're just Puerto Ricans.
And the thing is, Primo is a very good worker.
Really?
Yeah. He's been saddled with stupid gimmicks in tag teams, and it's just not working. They've been reintroduced, and all we know is they really, really love Puerto Rico, and they like the smell of flowers. And I have no idea where they're going with this, but I'm not very optimistic.
Me neither. Me neither. I wonder where they're gonna go with it, though. I really do. Maybe I don't know, dude. So next we have the debut of Enzo and Cass against the Dudley Boys. I feel like this was the best way to introduce them. And let's play a little excerpt, shall we, from Enzo and Cass's debut. All right, so this advertisement goes to DiGiorno, Rising Crust. If it's too thick, you're not going after the right women. DiGiorno. Right? Did I say that correctly?
I guess.
It isn't delivery, it's DiGiorno.
Yeah. I thought this was really good, and this was a good time to debut them.
I agree. I'm going to play a couple things. Listen to the pop. And then listen to this.
Are you kidding me?
What was that about? What was Michael Cole's condescending comment? What was that?
It was poor announcing. That's what that was. Terrible announcing. I mean, there's no other way when you've got a hot new tag team coming in, and your response when they interrupt is, "Are you kidding me?" It was just terrible commentary, and he's fucking terrible. So I guess it's par for the course.
Yeah, you're right. And people are already calling Enzo Amore one of the best. Reason why?
He's absolutely.
You can keep this like a little lower.
What do you know? Look at this.
All right.
Couple haters. You two ugly. Face don't.
This next line's the best.
To play no game. Devon, I see the way you're staring at us. Well, let me tell you something. You want to play games? I'll connect for that dome piece. I got the gift of gab and the gift of jab, and I'll put that lazy eye right back to work.
Like,
yeah, that was good.
I don't think Vince truly knows what he has. I don't think the writers know what he has, because as soon as they try to tell him what to say, there's going to be a conflict there that I'm gonna see and hear real fast.
No, yeah, I mean, he's already one of the best mic workers in the company,
easily.
And it was really obvious. I mean, he outshined almost everyone on the main roster with his mic work. I mean, it was a statement, no doubt about it. And Big Cass is a big guy. He's 6'9" in a shoot. They say 7 foot, but he's really 6'9". He's a very big guy. They're a great tag team. They work well together. And Enzo, while small, is so good on the mic. and they just complement each other so well. One is smaller, one is very big. One guy is very powerful, one guy is great on the mic, and they just complement each other very well. It's a great tag team. I like the gimmick, and I'm excited about them being on the main roster. I just hope they don't screw it up.
Me neither. Like I said, I have a bad feeling that they're going to want to write everything for them, and they're not going to like it. But
yeah, they've got to give him. They've got to give Enzo freedom on his promos. They have to. They're so good. You can't script that.
You can't teach that or script it. Anywho, last but not least, the return of Cesaro, the beginning of the new feud with Kevin and Sammy, and AJ Styles becoming the number one contender.
Yeah, I thought Cesaro should have been held off. Again, too many people being introduced all at once, but the Fatal 4-Way match was good.
Was good, yes.
And we were once again reminded that WrestleMania didn't matter because the guy who couldn't do what Fandango did at WrestleMania turned around and won a match to become the number one contender for the fucking championship.
Yeah, that didn't make much sense to me.
You think?
Look, as a wrestling fan, I'm glad Styles finally got his, what he came here to be, which was a champion or a contender. So in that vein, I'm happy, but it didn't make any sense though.
God, does anything in their booking ever make any sense lately? I mean, it was, and you know what? I'm glad he's going to get this opportunity. He's going to put Roman over strong style. That's the bottom line, I think. But you know what? It's a good opportunity for him. And I think it'll be important to see where he goes after the Roman Reigns match. I think there's such a small chance of like the Bullet Club, the Bulletproof BC or whatever with AJ Styles. Yeah, I heard someone on Twitter was like going through this theory that, Gallows and Anderson will debut the Balor Club or whatever, the Bullet Club. They'll debut and, AJ Styles will be a part of it and they'll cost Roman Reigns a championship. But yeah, don't bother wasting your time with that theory.
Yeah, the theory's garbage. Hot garbage. So anyway, before we head off, guys, it's been a long-ass podcast. Here are the rumored WrestleMania matches already. Wow. Hey, WrestleMania is still going, Brad. Can you believe it?
I'm not surprised.
Here are the rumored Payback in Chicago. Payback matches. Roman Reigns versus AJ Styles for the World Heavyweight Championship in fucking Chicago. Imagine that one going down well for Vince. Charlotte and Natalya for the Women's Championship. Chris Jericho versus Dean Ambrose. Kevin Owens versus Sami Zayn. The Wyatt family versus the League of Douchebags. The Dudley Boys versus Enzo and Big Cass. Becky Lynch versus Emma. There's two things missing. Can you predict what they are?
I wasn't paying attention. There's two.
Are you fucking kidding me? Did you really not pay attention, or are you just being a dick?
No, you're babbling on about the speculative card, and who really cares? The pay-per-view is going to be whatever.
Okay.
But, what they'll have to do, it is Chicago. I mean, what they'll have to do is cut the mics again like Vince did at WrestleMania for Roman Reigns.
Yep. Unless Roman turns heel, then let the booze flow.
Yeah. There was no Dean Ambrose in Raw. There was no Brock Lesnar in Raw. No Undertaker on Raw. We had Shane and Vince in a brief segment that made no sense. Dan, what a shit show this booking is. These writers, I mean, the whole group, and that includes Vince too. He's the bottom line approver. They need to be fucking fired. Fire themselves. I don't care. This is just garbage. These people, if they were writing a primetime show on TV, How to Get Away with Murder or one of those type of shows, they'd be fired because they fucking suck.
Let's hope it changes, huh? Let's have some faith.
Yeah.
Let's have some faith in reality. All right, Bradley. Well, I think it's that time. Right now. You got to get up and go to work, and so do I.
Yeah.
So tell the world a goodbye and where they can find you on the social media platforms.
You can find us at Twitter, our official podcast Twitter account at VOTV Podcast, Voices of the Voiceless, VOTV Podcast. Add me, DM me, tweet me, quote me, retweet me, and all that other happy Twitter bullshit. I'd love to talk to you. Unless you're obnoxious, then I will mute or block you. Anyway, that's how you can find me.
You can find me at Jon Fisher WNCT at Wrestling News Hub on Facebook and Jon Fisher on Facebook. Did you know that tonight in Concord, North Carolina, Finn Balor and Shinsuke Nakamura teamed up to face some two guys?
I heard that was the tag team match of the main event of the show. I didn't know it was here.
And Eva Marie stole Asuka's title.
Man, I can't wait till Eva Marie goes over on Asuka.
Oh, no.
Oh, she's going to make her tap out, I think.
Let's hope you're lying. Anywho, anything else to say before we head off into the sunset for a little bit, for a while?
No. Well, subscribe to us on iTunes. Rate us 5 stars. Don't rate us 4. If you rate us 4, I'll haunt your fucking dreams.
Yeah.
That's my usual spiel. But that's it. Yeah, subscribe, rate, whatever, and follow us on Twitter. We love talking to the people. We're champions of the people. We're going to make wrestling great again.
And I'm going to go make my chicken great again. I'll see everyone next week.